All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Another episode of Non-Fiction. Like always, I want to thank everybody for listening to the past episodes. Go on to YouTube, Non-Fiction. You can find us there. Like, comment, subscribe. We have Reek. Country Cuz is back with us.
Yeah.
Deshaun. Shauna. Ill Will. Today's topic, I don't. Do I want to call it controversial, or do I want to call it sensitive? What do
you can call it both?
Really both.
It's really both. We're gonna dive into the church. Ooh,
right. The churches.
I know we don't want to.
Are they
First of all,
helpful?
we are not here to offend anybody. This is our opinions. Don't come throwing stones at us.
Everybody got opinions.
Everybody's got opinions. You know, we all got them.
But are they helpful or harmful?
That's what we're going to try to dive into today. Is the church helpful or is it harmful? We're going to dive into a little bit of tithing, offerings, and all that good stuff.
The big one.
What's the big one?
Yeah, tithing.
Tithing's
That's a big one.
Tithing
When it comes to churches.
Yes, right.
So let's dive in.
Is it necessary or not?
Well, church is necessary. Church is necessary.
And if you go to specific churches, tithing is necessary. You're giving to God. That's what is being told. But is it the real truth?
My personal opinion on tithing is:
does it have to be specifically money involved? Because I feel like tithing could be
time.
It could be time, and it could give charity.
It could, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But tithing is something that came along in the Old Testament, and from my understanding, if I'm wrong, put in the comments, please. You can correct me. I love.
I don't think that's a right or wrong, honestly.
But from my understanding, when Jesus came and died for our sins, tithing went away with all of the old laws of the past, and we jumped into this new way of
the New Testament.
Yeah, we jumped into the New Testament to where tithing is only mentioned maybe twice.
It ain't much.
If I'm not mistaken, I guess
Once
it could
or
be
twice.
maybe once or
Wow.
twice.
Wow.
I guess I really didn't come prepared.
Right.
Even though we talk about this all the time, but
Right.
I do believe I read it's only mentioned once or twice, and it refers back to the Old Testament.
Because I remember it said, not give me 10% of your income. It's a 10% of your storehouse. That's not even 10% of earnings. That's 10% of what you got on the extra end, on your surplus end. That's what a tithe is supposed to be. Not, I made this much this month, so I got to, my gross was this much, so I got to give them 10% of my gross. Not 10% of what I brought home. These churches want 10%. They act like they Uncle Sam uncle or something. They must be Uncle Bam or something. You know what I mean?
So we're saying
it don't.
Churches.
It shouldn't
there
be
are
monetary.
a few churches going off the Old Testament with the tithe, and they expect you to tithe monthly or whatever, weekly, whatever it is.
They shouldn't. I feel like they shouldn't keep track of somebody's what they doing.
Right.
It's just what you can give, and you showing that you grateful for having your job. I didn't get my job because I applied. It's because of him I got it. So
Right.
I'm giving back to him.
Right.
So it shouldn't
makes
be
sense.
it shouldn't be monitored and saying, okay, you didn't get this or whatever.
So you're saying no man should put a price on what you give.
No.
But being the devil's advocate, how the church is supposed to survive?
They get what you mean? How they ain't got
'Cause
to pay
ain't
no
that-
taxes though.
But But
So
but how are they going to?
They got bingos, they got bake sales, they got car washes, they got all kind of raffles.
Some of
and
them
they
have
all
casino
tax
night.
exempt.
Some of them have
Yeah.
casino night.
They are everything the churches do is tax exempt. So you got to really look at it like if all of us owned our own personal church and we was basically using it as a place of business. I mean, it's a place of worship, but we basically using it as a place of business because whatever comes in cannot be taxed. So at that point, you gonna ramp up how many services you gonna have per week, how many Bible school services you gonna have on Sunday or Saturday or both days. You gonna start having more because more means more bodies in the facility, meaning more plates going around. And more plates, more members.
So we should just base it off of our offerings opposed to tithing.
Yeah. It's your offering to the church.
But even then, you think about some churches might have an actual, like, their congregation might be 30 faithful tithing members, but the congregation got about 100 people in, but they got 30 people that faithfully giving up 10% of what they gross made instead of, hey, I can cook and I can bake. Why don't we set this event up? You know what I mean?
Why don't we,
and these churches they not looking for that. They're not looking for someone that is gonna, like you say, give their time as a tithe because it's 10% of what you have extra, not just 10% of what you got or what you've earned. 10% of what's extra. It said from the storehouse. That's like you going in the fridge and looking in the cabinets, and in the fridge you got a couple packs of hot dogs, lunch meat, cheese, mayonnaise, mustard, and you look up in the cabinet, you got plain chips, and that's it. You ain't got nothing extra. I mean, yeah, you can make some hot dogs and chips. Like, I got this lunch meat. This is what I got extra. Here you go. But no, they want you to. They want what you got before you went to the store and got it.
Wow.
So,
and see, I've never heard of it spoke like that.
Another thing is, why do it have to be in the church? I can help somebody myself, and just 10% of my time going to somebody else, going to a kid, going to somebody else.
Very true.
Help somebody that's.
See, I don't see nothing wrong with that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Really is. And it don't have to be exposed to nobody to see.
They don't have to be exposed.
That's something within you, between you and God.
Right.
And then you still supposed to study the Bible for yourself.
Yes.
Because church it get mixed up a lot.
Twist it.
It get twisted.
Everybody have a different context and how it's being read, and
that's why I say all men are liars, because you're supposed to read it for yourself.
Different person.
Yeah. Because one person get one thing out of it, another person get another thing out of it.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah. So
and then some people that didn't turn it the way they wanted, so they can be out there
philandering
and twist it and make it okay.
And that's the problem. I mean, we got the churches now looking like basic corporate world now.
Pretty much.
You got so many pastors that are taking their tithe the money and demanding people tithe and threatening to kick them out. Some people is getting kicked out of their churches because they giving an offering, but they not giving a tithe. And who is anybody to kick somebody out of the Lord's house?
Right.
The Lord created that, and it's just it's just such a conundrum on how somebody really basically just want to panhandle their entire life and act like they better than the people that they getting the pans handled to them by.
It's almost become a like a grand spectacle.
Right.
We got these mega churches
that
hold 1,200 people, like a basketball stadium almost, or a baseball stadium.
Right.
And then
I guess
I get it, but I don't really.
Yeah, because it's like I look at them mega church guys. I look at Joel Osteen. I look at Bishop T.D. Jakes, Cref Rhoda,
Yeah.
and I see the magnitude and multitude of followers that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Their flock,
Oh,
as
yeah.
they call it.
Oh, yeah.
And I look at the actual revenue that they get. They all got private jets. They all got imported, expensive, flashy cars, with the nicest tailored suits, just for them. And it's like, you got all of that monetary, all that currency. Why not spread it out?
Right.
I
mean, they might be. Like, we don't really know.
Right.
Bishop T.D. Jakes, I know his daughter is following in his footsteps, and
oh yeah, I heard she's on fire.
yeah,
That's
but
why
he
I
ain't
heard
getting out
she
the
is
way.
on
He's
fire.
still. Bishop, I ain't talking about you like that no bad way. I'm just saying he's still getting his money.
Right.
Yeah, but the bishop, Reek and I were talking about this. T.D. Jakes had things set up before his ministry.
Yeah.
Like his companies, his real estate,
And now he's into the movie production.
movies and book sales and all that. So,
But what do you think really? Majority of that tax-free money.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
but
and-
it's still like a. It's still got to be a business side to it too.
right.
I mean,
It's just like-
it's
just
gonna
like-
be a business side to the church.
It's like, okay, when you give to the Red Cross or something like that,
that's
like,
tax,
it's
that's
going-
tax exempt. Yeah,
it's
a
going
charity.
to helping people, but it still got to go to the name of the Red Cross and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, you giving it out of your kindness.
right.
It's just like giving somebody something on the street. You don't, once you give it to them, if they mess that up, that's on them.
That's it.
You can't judge on what they doing when you
Right.
gave it to them.
Yeah, but at the same
So-
time, with these churches being exempt from taxes, do you feel like a lot of them is basically using the church to? Dang, I hate to have to say this. They laundering money, man.
They launder
I
money,
mean, but that's all
you
or
can't just go to the churches though. That's all over.
or are they brainwashing people?
They're doing both because I growing up in the South, growing up in Georgia, I've been to some of them churches. I've been to churches that basically give you a contract saying that you're
Wow.
going to tithe, that you're going to do this, and
What?
you're going to give this much time, and you, like,
What?
dead serious. And I was like,
A
what is
written
this?
contract in front of you?
Yes.
Now, see, that's enough to
I've
make
never
somebody
heard of
run
that.
away.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Hey,
People
don't get me
wonder,
wrong.
people
was
wonder why people run away from the Lord, from Jesus, and from church, because stuff like
and
that.
that's in the South, and this was it was a great church. I mean, had a full service kitchens during Sunday service and full staff daycares every day of the week.
Yeah.
And you sign that contract, you get access to that daycare and all that, but you got to give what that contract say.
Wow.
You might have one day out the week you got to come and be a peer pro at the daycare and all of that and deal with somebody else's kids.
What if you don't? What if you break that contract and don't do that? Then what happens?
Then they just like
They kick you out of the church?
they what's the word I'm looking for?
Exile you,
No, they hound you first.
hound you.
They hound you like they like be all on your back. Oh well,
Wow.
we're gonna give you another chance. We know you can do it. And like try to like say, oh, it's all right. You're gonna slip and fall. But come on back. They try to play the Jesus role on you because you ain't doing it.
See,
Be like,
that's when
Jesus didn't get it right. He had to bump his head a few times. And,
What?
you gonna come on round two. We got faith.
I thought
in you.
Jesus,
they
Jesus
lift you
messed
back
up. I didn't know he messed
No,
up.
they say that because they want that doggone count. That's why I say, like, I've been to different religions of churches. I've been to a mosque before. And going to a mosque, I ain't never seen the collection plate go around so many times. That thing was going around so fast, I thought they was mixing the cake and it was my turn to whip or something, man. That bowl was this doggone big. I could have put 3 big boxes of cereals in it, and they just kept sending it,
Wow.
Like every 15 minutes, they sending it. I'm like, what in the...
Shoot, they probably counted and say, "Oh, that ain't
They
enough."
end up sending it again. And
Late again.
it's like it just ain't
Yeah,
like
that's-
I don't do the Catholic churches believe in tithe, and I know they believe in offering. Everybody believe in offering.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do Catholic churches tithe?
I'm not sure.
Because I've never heard.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yes,
thank
they
you,
do.
thank you, Jake.
There you
Okay,
go.
but now Catholic churches also, whenever they got a member in need that comes to them, they don't hesitate to put their money out there to help their members. But it's a lot of our Baptist churches that's like, yeah, I could help old Ronnie out, but I'm gonna use that money and pay their Cadillac off. You know what I mean?
You gotta watch how you help people too. I seen where a whole bunch of people gave their tithes, and the pastor was like, okay, I'm taking all this money and I'm gonna help this one person. And it's thousands of dollars. But that could be good. We think it's good, but if that person don't use it right, and then it's not good,
But the churches, that's the thing. When they get the money, they not supposed to put that money in nobody's hand. They supposed to, like back in the early 90s, I remember the churches all had stuff like bill payment assistance, rent assistance, and they would just give you basically like a money order, a voucher, and you take it down to the light place
To pay the bill.
and that will pay that bill, or you take it to.
And it's specifically
So you
for that.
You're not just getting an envelope
It'd
full
be
of money
filled out directly
to the
them.
ComEd or
Yes.
to Aqua or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
and churches that are doing that, they doing the right thing with
Yeah.
the tithes, and I feel like tithing, that's what they should be for. If you're gonna be a church that's accepted, I don't think that a church should be.
They take it to the next level.
But they paying the board of employees that's at the church with the tithe and money.
I think
instead
that
of
should be
just the
volunteer.
It
All of that is
should
be.
I mean, well, it still depends because it's a lot of work going into churches. I mean,
Yeah.
you got.
I worked in a church. I didn't get paid.
You didn't get paid.
Mm-mm.
I bet you if you was a secretary, you would have got paid.
I was the secretary.
Ooh, secretary, they be the ones that be tearing the churches off. I ain't gonna lie. They be tearing the churches off. I know a secretary told his church off for $1 million, and the church just let her go. They just say, all right, you done. We gonna pray for you. Just go on about your business.
No,
Just let her go.
I'm the type of person, I don't want that coming back on me. I ain't going to try to play out, and I would prefer to volunteer. That's what it's about.
And the last church I was attending, it was kind of a family church, mother, father, sons. And the father was the priest, the pastor, but he was paying his sons out of tithing and offering money to just play the instruments,
It should be volunteer. I'm sorry.
What you feel about that, Rick?
I don't think they should get paid. That's me.
And
That's supposed to be.
I knew that the father was
don't.
using all the money in a personal fashion.
No.
For the simple fact that when I started working at CSL, I had stopped going probably 6 months before I even started working there. And then once I started, right around the time I made union, my wife got a call and was like, yeah, the pastor called and gave me a message for you saying you owe God something. I'm like, what the? Hold on, wait a minute. When he started getting collection people around here, I don't remember getting no loan, first of all. And
You owe God.
yeah, and I'm
God
just
says
like,
you owe.
Look, as soon as he made union, how did he know you did?
his son was working there.
You owe
Oh
God.
yeah, you don't want to get no names or nothing, but
I ain't giving no name. I
Okay.
didn't say not a name, not a single name, not
Okay.
a name plate.
They
but-
super wrong for
And
that.
I was just like, I say, I like that. That played in my head for like the next 30 days, and it lived up there every day. Like that lived in my head more than Tammy telling her sister, "I paid my bills. My bills is paid." That lived in my head more than that, and I was just like, "Who really calls somebody and says because of your currency change, you owe God something?" Because you want your hands on it. You want that in your hands. You
Yeah.
already envisioning what you could do with that 10%.
Yeah, it
Oh,
should.
God.
See, that's what I'm saying. It
That's
Right
what
there.
I'm saying. That's
It
what I
shouldn't be
mean.
like
Prime example.
thinking-
That's a
from
hounding to me.
From my point of view, it shouldn't be
that
like
turns
that.
me off.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like
Man.
that. Like, who am I to say you owe God something? Like, don't. That's what I'm saying. You
We
trying
all
to,
owe God something.
Yeah, we all owe.
But we,
yeah.
but we all
But-
are always giving
Yeah.
to God in our
Different
own
ways.
way.
In
our
different
own
ways.
way. We might see somebody need help crossing the street.
Yeah.
We might see somebody just need help getting their groceries in their car.
Exactly.
You know, we all helping out.
Well, that's manly help, like, cause
No,
You know,
that's,
No,
I
that's
mean,
not man.
no,
that's
I
just-
help
understand that,
somebody
but-
across the
but-
street or help
Yeah.
them carry something. You know,
Yeah.
might be trying to do that one trip.
That's a
you
part
know,
of
as a man,
God's- it's a
we
part of
one
God's
trip.
work.
We one trip when we get back from that store. Like we tell that kid, look, we gonna get all these bags. We coming back for that water. We might don't come back for that water till the next day. That water might sit in that car all night, man. Because we a one trip type of guy.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it also says like all your good deeds are like filthy rags, though. I mean,
Maybe it's just me.
that's
I
not
got a
going
case of
that's
the
not
trunk.
going to get you like all your good stuff, like you helping a lady across the street. That's not going to get you to heaven. You know what I'm saying?
We don't know what's going to
You
get
don't
us
know
to
that.
heaven.
But that's
know
what
that.
that's what I'm saying. That's what the Bible
We
says.
don't know that.
Well, the Bible says.
I mean, you can help all you want,
no,
but that's like filthy rags.
But that's like,
No,
but that's,
Reed.
but, so you
No,
gotta,
I'm just saying it's not saying you don't supposed to do that.
but
but
you're
what I'm
saying
saying
it's
is-
manly.
No, but what I'm saying is
you
like
saying in
people
humanity, that's how
peop-
we supposed
yeah,
to
people
be,
think-
period. We supposed to be
people think
helpful
you
towards
helping
another.
an old lady across the street
But
and
that's-
do all that. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but what I'm saying is your time and everything is supposed to go to God first. When you got up in
Right.
this morning,
Right.
that old lady
Right,
didn't
right,
help
right.
you get up. God
She
helped
did.
you get up
Right.
this
Yeah.
morning.
Right.
So the
Okay.
first thing
God
for the
is,
God
is first.
God is
Then
supposed
your-
supposed to give your thanks to
then your
Him
spouse
first.
is down the line.
But,
You know,
but I mean, what I'm just trying to say is, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I feel like just being a human.
right? Well,
Just being a human and just always looking at everything in the view of, would I want somebody to do that for me? You know, that's how I live my life. That's basically how I live every day. It's like, would I want somebody to treat me that way? Or would I want somebody
Right.
to help me with that? And that's how I move, because I move how the book say, do unto others as you would like them to do unto you.
Right.
Mm.
And that's how I do. I don't care if I heard the worst story about this person. They did this and that. When I meet them, I don't know you. So we on a fresh page. Until you do something like that,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about what nobody
Right.
got to say.
Mm.
I mean, I got to take it for what I know. And it's the same way with the churches, you know. You hear about churches, certain churches, and then you still give it a chance. You know, you want to see if it's real or not. You know?
Right.
And you
Right.
go and you see
you
it.
find
When
out
you
just
see
for
it, you
yourself.
might
I
be
feel like with churches nowadays,
Right.
it's been so many preachers and stuff that's been in the paper for
wandering and
all that
stealing.
And then
Yeah,
people are exposing them on their
people-
videos, videoing
Yeah.
church, the sermons, and they doing stupid stuff.
Mhm.
And
And then
what's the one
people are-
asked for $1,000 for
Yeah.
per
yeah,
person?
so y'all need to go to the ATM and get $1,000.
and that's
out
what
right
that's
now.
what get people away from church.
Yeah.
Some people are still, they
Yeah.
brainwashed to still
was
step.
going,
Yeah.
yeah. Because they believe in that guy. They done
Right.
gave all they soul and faith to a man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where it really get messed up, because I understand you can love this pastor just like you love your favorite musician. And whenever that musician come on, you just lean for every note. And some people feel like the pastor ain't the pastor. They feel like the pastor is God himself talking
Well,
to
see,
them.
that's what.
Right.
And
Stop
the
masking.
pastors they need to rectify that, because they need to focus more on the fact that they're just a messenger.
Mhm.
And
It's still a man,
always a man first.
right?
Right.
And that's what pastors
That is full of sin.
yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Always a man first. And
Right.
I hate to say it, but it'd be the women that weaken up the congregation, because They see that man up there speaking them words that God's sending him supposedly, more than likely he is, and they just hold on to it and just wish that was the man in their life. And
well, another thing.
That's another story too.
That's why you're supposed to. If I go to church and the pastor is preaching about something, I take in what he's saying, and then not only that, you're supposed to go home and study what he was preaching about.
Yeah.
And take it in within yourself.
From yourself.
Yeah.
Because he can tell you something, and it makes sense. It seemed like it makes sense.
Right.
But then you start reading for yourself, it means something totally different.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why so many people are getting misled, because they
Right.
going to church and they think, okay, this person do study this, but you probably teaching the wrong thing.
They're not trying to learn on their own. They just taking whatever information they get.
And like with the mega churches, the first thing people see is, okay, how much money is getting brought in. They look at the money, how much money getting brought in, rather than what he's even talking about.
Because I listen to me some Joel Osteen in a minute, because he preaches a good word. Him and T.D. Jakes, hands down, I listen to them.
But what do you feel about Joel as the actual messenger of the cloth?
I don't see nothing wrong.
Even though he ain't want to open up the church doors to help them people and all that.
When in Texas?
Yeah, when all this stuff was happening.
I know he was on something and he explained himself, but I didn't.
Ain't no explanation.
I know.
That is the Lord's house. You would not have that place to get all the millions of dollars had not the Lord bless you with it.
Right. And
you supposed to bless not just your flock, but any follower that needs help, any soul. That's a pastor's real job, to help, to guide a soul back to salvation.
Mm-hmm.
And how you gonna guide a soul to salvation when all you were, I ain't letting them people up in my church. They gonna tell my church.
Well, it can be anything with that though.
Yeah,
you can let the wrong.
But I
people
understand
in
what
there too.
But Reek is not his house.
Right.
He's not the gatekeeper. That's what that's why I feel the way about the tithers. Tithers paid for that building.
Mm-hmm.
God's money is tithes. That paid for that building. That building belonged to the people, not Joel Osteen. That's like dude. No, it's not a certain extent. He get every single benefit of having that building, tax write-offs, every single benefit.
Yeah.
But he could literally house homeless, even just homeless youths every night in there while he ain't using it.
Yeah.
But it just sits there unused until he wants to use. That's not what God intended when he wanted messengers to spread his word and his message. He wanted them to spread his word, his message, and his likeliness. That's not like God. That ain't God like.
Yeah.
To what extent?
If he said it like that, man, he definitely got my.
To what extent is that God? Like when you know it's people out there that need help and you got this big old building, you can open it up every night and just have a small staff of people that want to help from the congregation.
Serving food and letting people
they want to do stuff like that. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
It sounds good, but what if you ain't talking about a church? Would you open your house up to just some strangers?
Right.
In need and help.
If
I call
because you can let the wrong people
sometimes you gotta
too.
have common sense.
If I call myself a servant of God and a man of the cloth, I'm gonna move the way Jesus moved in the Bible.
But I get it what he said. That's there.
Jesus didn't judge a man off his look. Jesus wanted to hear that man's story, and even after hearing that man's story, he still didn't judge. He still gave that person the benefit of the doubt that no matter what wrong they did, they still got time to turn their life around.
Right.
There's still salvation available. These guys don't care about. These guys just care about. Let me see. I let the people in there. Even if I just do it for 3 months, then the carpet cleaner serves. Then I got to clean the walls. Then I got to get the HVAC did. Then the water bill gonna go up. But guess who pay for all of that?
But that's when the flesh.
Congregation.
The people.
Congregation.
See, and that's what he got me on right
It's
there.
not coming out of Joel Osteen's pocket.
Right.
He owned the whole building. He ain't even got to pay taxes on it because it's a religious thing. And that's what I mean. That's why it's like, I stopped going to church, man, because I got to the point to where, like I said, I was going to church and I wasn't getting anything out of it. Whatever word they spit, I would listen to it. I would go home. I would read and read and read, and I wasn't getting anything out of it. I wasn't getting anything out of it. So I was just really going to church just for the singing and dance, and we sitting hey, and clapping along, you know, and give my offering, and that was that, you know. But I was going, and I just had to be real with myself, and I had to stop going because I was seeing that it was really it was the same as going to the movies for me.
Well, with that, I think it's like discipline with that too. If I go to the gym one time, I might not get nothing out of it. But if I continually go, I'm going to get something out of it. You don't stop going. You got to stay focused on it, still read and everything, and stay going with it. And then you're going to get something out of it.
Yeah, but they got to give some type of word that's going to pull you in.
But that's what I'm saying.
After a while,
yeah.
Oh no.
After a while, you feel like like I'm just going to the moon. Let me go see the same movie.
I went to a church. There's a church here in town. Ain't gonna name no names. Ain't gonna name no pastors. But I went to a church, became a member, got baptized, all in the whole 9 yards. Service was on Sunday afternoon at noon.
Mm-hmm.
I could have been my butt at home watching football, but I was in church.
Mm-hmm.
Faithfully going every Sunday. Sat in the front every Sunday. Took notes. Went to the pastor's office afterwards to go over the notes and study and whole 9 yards. One Sunday I go into church. Pastor stands up there and say, well, we got some Sunday onlyers up in here. Y'all know we got Bible study on Wednesday and we got this on Thursday and this on Friday night. And some of y'all only come up in here on Sunday. So I looked at that pastor and said, this is my last time coming. In my head, you know.
Nah.
I felt that as a personal attack.
Now, this is my question, though. This is my question. Now, was it an offering going on?
It was an offering going around.
During the Bible studies on all the days?
That I don't know because I never went. I never went.
That's
I think I went
I
think I went one Friday.
Because Bible studies do have offerings.
Yeah.
I think I went 2 Friday nights.
And that's the thing. And that's what I say. It's
money missing.
It's so much monetary gain in serving the Lord. Now it's crazy, man.
So I stopped going, and then the phone started ringing.
Mm-hmm.
Brother William, you ain't been here in a while. Hey,
you were looking at us Sunday only.
Hey, yeah, exactly. You watch this Sunday only and staying at home watching football from now on. You taking up football time, Pastor. I'm sorry.
And see, but that's what I'm saying. Like I say, man, growing up in the South, it was this one church in Ladonia, Alabama. And at first it was a man and a woman that was pastoring this church. And I guess the guy got caught philandering and she kicked him out of the church or whatever. And she took over the whole thing. And this lady she was brainwashing people, man, down. And I mean, when I say brainwash, she was brainwashing people to where she was getting a big young community to come. And she was brainwashing them young folks that if the other young folks act like they didn't want to come back, they was going to get them and bring them back.
All right, you come on by.
Like some cult-like stuff. And
you come on by if I don't come back.
This lady got so much, but she had her own private jet. It was just in a little country town of Ladonia, Alabama. Had built a super church there. I mean, a super church. Big old thing. And still to this day, that lady still clocking them Benjamins.
Really?
Still to this day clocking Benjamins. And I couldn't believe it until I seen it was like 6 young people came and was knocking at my buddy door and he ain't answering. I'm like, man, why you ain't answering? They were like, man, them church people trying to come get me. I'm like, what you mean the church people trying to come get you? You were like, man, they trying to get me to come back to church, man. I ain't going back to that church. And when he opened the door up, it was like they was like grabbing at him.
Oh,
I was
my
like, man,
goodness.
if you don't tell them to get back when they get shot. And I was baffled, man, because it's like you gotta brainwash the youth
Right.
so that they can bring more youth in. Because you know if you get them under control and under your nail, then they gonna keep working, keep coming, and they gonna hang on to her every word, just like some hang on to the male pastors every word.
Wow.
It's
Twisting, taking it, and just turning it all
so do
to
y'all
their own
feel-
benefit.
Do y'all feel like some churches should be taxed?
Yeah, if they're gonna be the mega ones, should.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like if the
Like
If
like
the
we were
pastor-
talking about T.G. Jakes. He
he got a
He
lot of money, and he
separates
had
his-
money before church.
right. So he separates church from business.
Not Creflo Dollar though.
I don't know.
Creflo
I've been to
Dollar
Creflo's church.
But he been
I don't know.
that's all church money. That's all church money. That's all church money, man. Them-
I'm not a big
the
Creflo
private
fan.
Flights and all that's all church money. Creflo I ain't never heard of Creflo was part of this Fortune 500 business. I ain't never heard that not one day in my life.
That's true. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea about Clefro. I used to listen to him a long time ago.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Me
Like I
too.
said,
I
I
don't-
went
I
to a
don't
men's
really know.
conference at his church. And all of them were there. TD,
Yeah.
Creflo, Paul Morton, what's Eddie Long, Joyce Meyer. All of them were there.
Oh, wow.
All of them. Deion Sanders. All of them. Hammer. All of them.
What?
Hammer was there.
Everybody was
Yeah.
there.
Hammer was
How much
there.
did it cost to get in?
That
It wasn't
men's
free.
cover? No, it was
Well,
like
it wasn't
That's
free.
what I'm getting to.
175.
150 a
That's
head.
like
It
a
was like
concert.
3 days. It
That's
was
a
over-
concert.
It was over. Concert's 1 day, Sean. This is a course over 3 days. So
I don't think you should have. No.
Free. Why is pastors making more money than drug dealers and this legal?
Because it's also called the
Benny
devil
Hinn
too.
was there.
Not saying they
All
are.
of them were there. I'm
Wow.
telling you, all of them.
Not,
The one
not
dude,
saying who they are,
the
but
one that used to say COVID-19. What's his name? The old guy.
Hold on, man. I'm baffled. Hold on. I'm over here stuck
Wait a
right
minute, wait a
now
minute, wait a minute.
on this.
And this
Yeah,
place was packed.
I bet.
I went up there and got hands laid on me from Benny Hinn.
I bet you
And
he
he
probably
had-
got
he had-
all the dough money, all the seat money, and he probably didn't have to pay nothing to use. Was it at a motel conference hall?
It was at his church.
Oh my God!
It was at his place.
Oh my God!
That means it was free. It really, that should have been a free.
I still have the
So-
brochure.
so-
I gotta look.
So then, do you feel like he should have been given that? Just giving it, or you feel like y'all should have paid for what y'all got?
Them speakers got paid.
the speakers got paid, but
Do you feel like that's
at
God?
that time,
Do you feel like that's godly of them?
at that time, not knowing enough, I felt okay.
Okay.
You know, right? I should.
I'm not trying
This
to make
is,
you
you know-
shame. No,
No.
I don't want
I'm
you
not
to
ashamed.
shame
At
you.
all. At the time,
It felt right,
it felt right to
Okay.
pay the money to go. You know,
and it felt good to have
to
that
go.
experience.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah.
And you went for 3 days?
Yeah. Yep. But you had to find your own way down there. So we drove down there. We had to find our own place to stay. So none of that
Get a
was
motel
included.
and
So.
stuff. So I mean, I don't know.
it's hard to say about that.
Yeah, because
And
I'm
I mean,
because-
all those guys spoke.
It's yeah. See,
all
It's a
of them probably
business.
got a percentage.
Creflo's
Oh, yeah.
wife
yeah,
spoke
but you
to
gotta
Taffy.
if you talking about
She
that,
spoke
then you
too.
gotta go. It's motivational speakers that get paid too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
But
and
this is a
that's
church.
but that's what I'm saying. It's
When you
it's
start-
hard
when-
to say.
When you start charging for the Lord's word, when would you, if you was a speaker for the Lord, at what step in your life would you feel like, all right,
I don't
I
know.
got 100,000 followers on my social media that listens to my word. All right, it's time to get this check. Like,
Well, it's not.
It's like it's either or. That's how I look at it.
And then when you get the money, what are you doing with
What
the
are you
money?
doing with
That's the question.
What
What
are
are
you
they
doing?
doing
Of
with
course,
the money?
they
Of course.
investing that money into themselves so that they can get more money. Did you just hear
Right,
that man
right.
say he had that whole 3-day thing at his own church?
Yeah.
Mean he didn't have to pay for no
Exactly.
venue. He just set it up. It's like I hate to say
At
this.
175 a head.
I hate
Or
to
whatever
say
it was. I can't remember the
I hate to
exact
say this,
price.
but it sounds like a strip club. That would sound like a strip club extravaganza weekend. That would sound. Come on down, 150. You get 2 whole days. Get to sit with nips and you get to sit with tips. You know what I mean? That's what it put me in the mind of because it's like I won't even spend that on a basketball camp, man. Even if Michael Jordan was doing it. $150, man, you know I can do it at $150. I'd rather put it in the air. So,
It's kind of hard to say. It's kind of hard to say about churches because I don't know exactly the whole business. It's a business, but it's also preaching involved. I mean, all that, and it's hard to say because I can see these mega churches, but I also hear the good word they preaching too.
Yeah.
I mean, you getting a good word, but you seeing all these people give to this church, and
Right.
I don't know where that money's going.
Right.
So,
Because I mean, you can get a good word right here.
yeah.
right,
Honestly,
you can get. That's what I'm saying.
For
Yeah,
free.
the fellowship right here. Yep.
I ain't passing no plate either.
No.
Right.
No.
And then I mean,
Well,
I guess that's what
it shouldn't be
that's what we're
mandatory
trying
to
get.
give too.
I
You
guess
should be
that's
giving
what
out of
we're-
your own will.
Right. I guess that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. Should it be that, or should you pass the plate 4 or 5 times around?
Cause it's like Reverend Jesse Jackson. Is he a actual ordained reverend?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know about Jesse.
Jesse is.
But Jesse got that bag.
He does
Jesse
have
got
that.
that.
But we got to see exactly what else he's doing.
Rainbow
I mean,
Push.
He know what he doing. He
And that's-
I
riding
don't
that
know.
train, man.
Rainbow
He
Push.
doing everything they doing up in there, boy.
Yeah, I don't-
Everything they doing. Reggie doing it too. Oh, Rev. Rev doing it too. Y'all know. What, didn't he just have a kid a few years ago? Some kind of little scandal or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Jesse Jackson?
Yeah.
Yes, he
wow.
did. Yes, he did.
Yes.
Well, how old is he? Like 70 something?
Well, it was a
A man we ain't never
Oh,
gonna
well, I
stop
know.
making babies until we stop making
Wait,
them.
when did this happen for real?
Yes.
Yes, it
And
did.
then his oldest son got caught laundering money.
yeah.
That's the one that was in the.
He went to jail
Congress
for
or
that.
whatever.
Yeah, he was running. Yeah, he
For
was trying
Illinois?
to run. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got caught
did
laund-
Blagojevich buy his seat or something? Something, whatever happened there.
And you a
Jesse
reverend.
Jr.?
You a reverend. Your son should know better.
He should.
He should know better.
He
He
should.
knew better. But he
should.
did it anyway. He did it anyway. And didn't think he was going to get caught. Didn't get caught. That's another thing. These pastors, I understand you could speak the word, you could be a great speaker, but you ain't good enough to speak to your own kids. Most PKs, preachers' kids, is some of the biggest hell raisers. Most.
Well, yeah, I wasn't no Hellraiser, but
But most of them is just buck wild. You will look at them and be like, man, I don't know if I want to ride with that person, man. They ain't got no morals. And then you find out they a preacher's kid. They know the whole book, front, back, middle, sideways. And they don't interpret that book the same way we might interpret it because that's all that they've heard their entire life. They look at the book in a totally different way.
But they've been restricted for so many years.
They
I'm
under
sure.
scrutiny.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so
You
they
know?
be ready to get out. They see their surroundings like having their fun, so they go overboard when it's their time. So
Overboard.
Well, so I feel on the subject, I feel tithing should be like Rika and Shauna said. It should be you could give an hour or two of your time.
Right.
with maybe a special skill you may have. You might
Right.
know how to do taxes. Maybe
Right.
at tax time, you can go and help some of them people
Help the
do their taxes a little
the
bit.
older
or-
congregation members get the taxes done. Yeah.
Because it's so much
Yeah.
people can come together to do. It's just in that church life, man. It's like it's almost like a competition. There's something like those women be competing hard in them churches.
Another topic.
Yeah. But I'm just saying they be competing
Man.
hard, and they want their recognition. If they don't get their
That
recognition,
means you in there for the wrong reasons, as far as
they
I'm
will
concerned.
turn that mother sucker up. Man,
Nope.
I be
Need a
fighting
life.
in the churches and stuff.
Mm-mm.
But I feel like tithing should not be monetary. Not saying it can't be monetary because some things are needed.
But like you said, it should be the extra.
It should be only
Extra.
the extra.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be expected because some
Because
people
of-
ain't got extra every month.
Right.
Right, but
It
you
shouldn't
know
be
what? Some
demanded
people-
to give.
Exactly.
But some people scratch and claw to get that extra, no matter
It
what.
ain't extra.
Right.
If you scratching the
It's
claw
still-
and it
I
ain't
know
extra.
it's not extra, but some people they'll give their last dollar
Yeah.
to the church and be like,
And
now what am I supposed to eat
That's
this
when
week?
you-
yeah, because
Well,
it's
that's
when you
them
tipping
people.
over.
then.
And it's them
To me.
people. It's them people right there. No, because they really hold the word that much, man. But it's them people that are so committed that give they last, and then when they need help,
That
the church
nobody's
just
there.
turn their back.
Yeah,
on.
nobody's there. Nobody's there for them.
And then that's why I feel like some churches should be taxed a percentage at least. I feel like if your church bringing in over $1 million in a fiscal year, you need to be paying some sort of tax on there. And if not, then you need to be building a community, like an actual community, houses for habitat,
Yeah.
with some of that money to house your congregation in. And I feel like if they was doing it like that, the church families would grow exponentially. They wouldn't stop growing. More people would flock to go to their church because they be like, man, that church really taking care of their people. They getting housed. They in the community. They got efficiency things set up in the house, so their bills is set up like on a nice level. It's so much more they could do, man. But
Nah, they do have communities like that, but then they still take that with the FLDS.
yeah. See.
Wow.
See? But that's what I mean. But even with that though, it's still doable. It's still you see where your tithings is going. You become an actual community. You become an actual whole family, man. It's so much more we can do, man. People
agree.
they just money hungry.
I agree.
It's sad.
It really is sad what churches
come to.
And this is just my opinion. It's sad what it's come to. I mean, it's like I said earlier. It's become a spectacle, almost like a circus sideshow. You know,
I know. Take it and use it and run with it, and
yeah. Well,
I know. Y'all got anything else?
yeah. Anything else anybody got to say?
Because I think we got a little bit more time.
Well, we got 3 more.
Well, like with the churches,
I think a little bit after.
I seen when
Trying to
it
get
was
it all in.
when it was the coronavirus and stuff. I seen how they shut all the churches and stuff down. But then when it was time to open everything up, the churches they really wasn't opening up like that.
Well, that's because they were doing it online.
Yeah.
Well, they was doing it online, but I actually been to church and stuff like that. But then they got it. It was kind of like you still separated in the church and stuff like that. And I feel like it was just a big part of a system, you know. And it was just like
worship, though.
it made it different. Yeah, yeah.
Because this my wondering with the whole church thing is like, dang, what my thought was that I just lost
Ooh.
it. It was a good one though.
Ooh.
It was a good one. I can't remember what it was.
With the coronavirus and all that.
No, it was like kind of like the whole thing of the church, like whose idea, or with the Baptist church, like the Baptist church came around when during slavery, right?
believe so.
during slavery, and they used the Bible for mind control over the slaves. That's the only entertainment the slaves got once a week was on Sunday, because they sang their hymns. They would teach one person out the doggone slave ship, all the stuff. It had them pass it on down to the rest of them, and it was just a source of mind control. And it's funny because like I seen a meme yesterday, and the meme it was so jacked up, but the meme had basically a Jesus-like figure getting enslaved, and the black people was looking, and they was like, "Oh man, Jesus getting enslaved, man, you gonna go help?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm helping the same way he helped me, man. He better pray to me now. Shoot, hope he get up out of slavery." And I was just like, "Whoa, wait a minute, because the way it took me, and I was just like, this is really how it was. People was praying for things to get better, and for a lot of people, things never got better.
Yeah.
And they still went every Sunday to sing them songs, and that's why I look at church the way I look at it.
That's another topic. That's another topic.
That's why I look at it as just
Right.
a source of entertainment. Because for them, that's what it was. That was the only time, other than when they was in the fields, they could collectively sing songs together. They could actually be together,
Right.
and that's, to me, it was just formed for, not saying religion ain't real, but I feel like on the Baptist end, it was formed for self-control, for mind control, pretty much.
Wow.
And
You talking about back in the slavery?
yeah,
the mind
because
control?
it kept them people so.
Because I thought,
Look at Martin. Martin got bricked and everything. I will turn the other cheek. I ain't turning no cheek. Where my pistol at? You know what I mean?
Well,
That's me.
well,
Wow.
with turn of the cheek, it means
It means to not acknowledge what happened over here, to give them a second chance to see if it's going to happen over here. Because it still can, but it's out of your hands if it do.
see, I don't know.
Turn the other cheek is put it in the Lord's hands, which basically say, see if it happened again.
No, well, like you can, like basically.
That's my interpretation.
But my thing about turn the other cheek means if I go to work and a supervisor or something make me mad,
Right.
if I don't turn the other cheek or whatever, and he gets mad at me and I instantly get mad at him, I can lose everything by my actions.
No, I'm finna tell you, turn the other cheek is somebody come to you and ask you for help. Say they need help moving or washing and drying. You say, okay, no problem, I'll be over there. You come over there and you get there and they ain't even unhooked the hoses from the washer. They still hooked up, water still running. You just like, okay, now you feeling some type of way because you only allotted this much time to do this. Now you got to take more time. Now on top of that, you tell this person why you ain't got this together. When you tell them that, they snap off on you and say, don't tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing. At that moment, you could leave or you could turn the other cheek. You could give that person the benefit of the doubt that they gonna shut up and do what need to be done and hurry up and get this washer and dryer up out of there and move. Or you could just leave.
Well,
I don't know.
leaving
Deshaun.
would be turning the other cheek, wasn't it?
No,
Yes.
leaving ain't turning the other cheek. Leaving is
That's what I'm
leaving
saying.
with your other cheek untouched. Staying and finding out if this person gonna shut up and just get to it is turning the other
That's what I'm saying. I think turn the other cheek, like I was saying.
I agree with Reek. I think that's turning the other
You
cheek.
Yeah.
think leaving is
yeah.
no,
I think
you gotta
you just
give,
leave-
you gotta give a person another chance. That's what
No.
the second cheek is for. It's the other chance. It's a second chance. The Bible is all about second chances.
Wow.
Well,
That's what turn the other cheek mean. Give them a second chance.
Well,
that's it.
that's what I'm saying. It could be like
See
this.
how
too.
it's
I think
interpreted different?
I think it's
That's right
like
there.
this. Like I was saying, if the supervisor get mad at me, if I snap back on him, that's not turn the other cheek. But I can let that. I got other stuff to deal with. Like he, I got a kid to look out
Right.
for. If I snap on him, it's affecting them at home. So I got to turn the cheek and just say, you know, he might not be in his right set of mind or whatever.
Right.
Whatever. I'm still gonna address him as a man, like, hey, look,
That
don't talk
is-
to me like that.
is.
But look, I'm not finna risk everything I got going because your attitude.
Right.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Because if it costs me, it costs my whole family.
Yeah, it does.
That's why I say, hey, when you turn the other,
turning the other
turn
cheek.
the other cheek. Because I know people that lost their jobs because they trying to be a man. Well, you just
And
lost
going
everything.
about it the wrong way.
Yeah, you going about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
When this dude's just
I agree with
completely just had a bad day.
That when
You know.
got a low at you, sometimes
And
it ain't no
it's so
right
many.
or wrong.
It's so many people.
It's true.
There's so many people in the world that did something wrong, and it cost them everything because they simply didn't turn the other cheek.
Man,
I can go outside right now and somebody ran
Scratch your
past
truck.
me and they flick me off or something. Now I could get in my truck and chase them down,
Yeah.
but then I go to jail. So
Let's just let it go.
that's
Yeah.
turning the other cheek to me.
Let it go, mean.
Yeah, let it go. You
That's
ain't in
it.
the right
See,
set of mind.
I just
Hey.
always looked at it like you got this friend, good friend, but you know how your friend is. You get some and they want it, and then they get it, and you like, man, why you got my thing, man? I want my thing back. Then they like, oh, I lost it. You like, man, you can't borrow nothing else no more.
And my attitude with people, my attitude is different than most people. If somebody get mad at me, I'm gonna go and see how mad they gonna get. I'm gonna keep pushing it. Yeah. You know, if you
See if they
tell me to
that
do
limit,
something,
yeah.
you know, if you tell me to help you move this and you get mad at me because I ain't helping you, then well, go ahead and I'm gonna sit there and watch you do it by yourself. Then, or you ain't gonna get no help then.
Wow.
So I'm gonna stay there and watch the whole time, but I'm not helping you. So
Well,
you can get it or not.
We had a good discussion,
Good
y'all.
discussion.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed
it's
it.
a great episode. I feel it's a great
I
episode.
still stand against monetary tithe.
Monetary tithing.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun stands against it. Once again, this is Non-Fiction. Thanks for listening, everybody. It's Dorikus. It's Country Cuz, Deshaun, Shauna, Ill Will. And we're out. Peace.
Peace.